Miami 24, Florida State 20. The streak is broken. Mark Rogers TV with some instant analysis, and we go to a new source here, new contributor here, and this guy has a tremendous Miami YouTube channel. Got Alonzo1219 on the line. Alonzo, how you doing tonight? Or should I even ask you how you're doing tonight?
I am elated. I had a heart attack in the fourth quarter, but as of right now, I'm very elated. 7 years of misery and pain is finally over with.
I'm surprised that you didn't have about 3 heart attacks.
Man, it was something to watch. It was Florida State Miami, what Florida State and Miami always is. Even when we were losing over these past 7 years, it was always a last-minute play, a break for Delvin Cook breaking down the sideline when it was a holding penalty that didn't get called, and then a holding penalty last year for Mark Walton, wide rights, wide lefts. You know, it seems to always come down to this, but over the last 7 years, they just had our number of getting it. We finally got it done.
Yeah, they just seem to do it to you every year, and the broadcast always does it to you as well. They put the graphic up to let you know what lead you lost every year, which lead you blew in the different situations. But the Canes pull through on a last-minute drive against that really good Florida State defense. So let's start with Malik Rocher's play, because the stats aren't overly impressive, Alonzo, at 19 for 44, 254 through the air, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. But man, when he had to lay it in, he certainly did. The Braxton Berrios throw was tremendous. The Langham throw as well, of course, was a nice back shoulder. Your thoughts about his play?
I thought his play was tremendous. The mistake he made when he threw the interception when we were going in for a touchdown or going in for at least 3 points, that was a huge mistake. He's basically learning on the fly almost. Didn't get really any playing time last year except for the Duke game. He's not a freshman, but he's a freshman almost playing college football. But he made some tremendous throws. His read option was beautiful. The way he was able to get outside and extend plays and get first downs, key first downs when we need it. And that last drive was just all him, man. He made himself a hurricane that drive. You know, just poise. Just what he didn't, what kept him out of starting last year, even though Brad Kaya was there. What kept him out was him not having poise and him trying to ad-lib. And he just showed poise. I'm very thankful for him. Someone kind of said he was going to be kind of like a Russell Wilson type of player this year. And to me, if you look at his numbers, they're not great, but it's almost the same type of play, especially in the when we needed it this game.
Joined by Alonzo1219. So join him on his YouTube channel and also on Twitter to talk Canes all the time. Alonzo, it was my thought in watching the Duke game that the Duke defense knew that Mark Walton was probably the best back in the ACC, if not one of the top 5 to 10 in the nation. They really loaded up against Walton. Of course, he was suffering from the ankle injury and also hobbled up in this game at 12 rushes for 25 yards. Are you concerned about Walton going forward?
Not really. I think they just need to use Travis Homer a little bit more to give him a little break, you know, from all the carries. Travis Homer is an excellent back. He's very strong, very physical, and actually has some good speed with it. So I just think if you take some of the load off Mark, I think we're kind of using him just a little bit too much. Homer's very good in the pass game too. So I just think that we need to use him a little more. I don't know if they're trusting him, but when he's in the game, excellent. So I'm not too concerned about Mark. I mean, like they were saying, it's more like a bone contusion. It's not a sprain or anything like. It just needs some time to heal, not getting hit on it every single week. And we don't know what's going on with the Georgia Tech game this coming week. Still supposed to be up in the air. So if they get a little bit of extra time off, it'll help them as well. So I'm not too concerned with Mark.
We're giving you some instant analysis with the Canes pulling one out against the Noles in Tallahassee, 24-20 here on Mark Rogers TV, and we're happy to be joined by Alonzo1219. Join him on his YouTube channel for the best in Canes coverage. All right, man, the offensive line has been an issue for a number of years. You really haven't been the you for, 12 or 13 years, something in that range. But over the last 5 or 6 years, I would say, and you're going to be able to provide a lot more insight into this, that the offensive line has generally been the weakest unit on the team. Do you think you're finally developing the kind of offensive line that can contend for an ACC championship?
Oh yes, it's definitely been the weakest. But I think it's kind of been a little bit. I think they've kind of destroyed them a little bit as well. I think last year under Coach Rick, first year as coaching offense, we changed our whole scheme. We were more of a spread type team under Coach Cooley. Shotgun, get the ball out. And I think that those offensive linemen were designed for that system. And when we came to almost kind of a read option system last year with a quarterback who wasn't mobile, and you want these guys to do more pushing than zone reading, it was a little bit different for them. I think the offensive line is definitely better this year. We got, I think, 6 recruits. A couple of them are starting, so we're definitely building towards the type of offense that Coach Rick wants. I just think it was scheme wise that more hurt us last year with the old line than it was the year before. Than it was the year before. The year before, I think Brad Kaya broke a record. I think he threw for like 400 and something yards against, maybe 512 yards if I'm not mistaken, against Florida State, and we put a lot of points up on the board with that same offensive line. But it was a different style system. It was more spread them out. Use the tight ends a lot more, get the receivers downfield, and a lot of draws and things like that. It wasn't smash mouth. So it kind of, the scheme changed a little bit. I think that hurt the O-line more last year than anything.
Hey, Alonso, you just brought up the key word, recruiting. So this game points to a lot of recruiting, and it's about this win right now, tonight. I don't want to take you away from that because it's about beating Florida State after 7 consecutive grueling losses, and then also marching on as a team that's won 2 games in the ACC and is 4-0 overall. But just coming to give me the totality of what it means to beat Florida State in terms of recruiting, bragging rights, all that business.
It is bigger than you can even imagine. They beat us the last 7 years, and most of it was due to the sanctions. We lost. Recruiting battles are crazy, and when you're able to go in a kid's house with his mother and father and tell them that you don't know if Miami's even going to have a program, and you get all the players from South Florida to come to Tallahassee, and it's big. So when you get Mark Rick there, and they know we're not on probation anymore, then you go into Tallahassee. And even though they were shorthanded, freshman quarterback, this game is bigger than any game they ever play, and everyone gets up for it. So when you go into Tallahassee and get a win like this here, and you're trending upwards, kids are going to want to stay home. So I think at least for South Florida kids, I'm not going to go all the way across the state of Florida, but for South Florida kids, that was a huge win for Miami, and they'll flip some recruits from this win. I can almost guarantee that.
So we got the Canes at 4-0. Florida State, obviously, man, they're such a talented team, but DeAndre Francois going down against Alabama, and it all kind of unraveled after that. They're going to be a tough out for anybody. I don't care what anyone says down the road. I know that they're 1-3, but they're going to be a tough route. But looking at your situation down the road, Georgia Tech next week is never an easy deal for anybody. You got to defend that triple option, but with your front 7, you certainly have the personnel to do it. Virginia Tech appears to be the game for the division championship. We'll see. And then Notre Dame, boy, they're improved, especially on defense and running the football. So do you feel good about where you're headed? What are some of your concerns going forward?
I feel great about where we're headed. The only game that concerns me really is Notre Dame, because our defense, I don't see Notre Dame scoring on our defense the way they score on everybody else. If you look at West Virginia last year, the way they dominated their conference in points and everything like that, I just don't feel like they can score on us. But I am concerned about our offense a little bit, and if they can score on us, can we keep up pace with them? Are we going to really, really open it up? And so that's the only game that concerns me. Virginia Tech, even though they're a tough out, their offense is really sputtering this year. They don't look like they can put up 12 points on any team, really. Their offense is very vanilla. And so I'm not really concerned about them. Georgia Tech, even with with that triple option that Bud Foster runs down there, it doesn't it's never scared Miami for some reason. Even back in the days with Nebraska, we're the team that killed the option. I mean, a lot of people don't know. It's just speed kills options. The option is more of a to me it's almost like a gimmick offense. You have to you have to stay disciplined, but the speed can bust it up real quick. Like, so not too concerned with Georgia Tech, even though they can't get us. But the number one game I'm concerned about is Notre Dame, just because their defense has gotten a lot better, like you said, and their offense can really put up points. Their offense is good. But any given day, man, those guys can break a play. And I'm not a Brian Kelly fan because he has too many antics for me. But man, can he coach an offense? He is unbelievable at getting those guys to put points on the board. So,
hey, folks, if you're a little bit younger and don't know your college football history, Alonzo's talking about a lot of Orange Bowls, days gone by, late 80s, early 90s, when Nebraska would roll in with a big offense that would rush for 500 yards per game and a really good team, but not with the NFL kind of talent that Miami had. And you had final scores like 23-3 and 22-0 when the U was really lights out. And it looks like they might be headed toward another golden era. We don't want to make too much of this, but it's a nice start at 4-0. Good win against a decent Duke team, and you did what you had to do. You didn't sneak by him. You dominated that game for the most part. And then to get that monkey off your back against Florida State on the road in comeback fashion, boy, it's a good situation there with Mark Richt and company.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for Florida State. They have. I don't feel sorry for Jimbo Fisher. When you have 8, 9, 10 top 5 recruiting classes, you ought to be able to lose a few players. We haven't had those recruiting classes, so on paper they're still better than us. You know what I mean? If you look at it on paper, their depth level is their depth level should be up there with. It should be better than Clemson's, to be honest with you, because if you look at their recruiting class over the past 8, 9, 10 years, it's been top 5 every year. So it's kind of hard to feel bad for a team that's been winning a lottery, every single year, man, and getting players after players and just dominating. And you lose a game, to me, it's like we're just coming up. We're still using a quarterback that was a throwaway, if you think about it. He wasn't even recruited heavily. Our running back was hurt. That running back. We don't have depth at tight end. We're not using our tight ends a lot. I love Christopher Herndon. I'm not understanding why he's not getting the ball at all. I think he had 2 targets this game. It's just, to me, it's almost unbelievable how our tight ends are. We're tight end U. I know we're almost every position U, but we're tight end U, and we're not utilizing our tight end. So for Florida State, man, I don't care if they would have been on a 3rd string quarterback. This is when we had to get 110%, and we needed it, and it's beautiful.
All right, Miami 24 and Florida State 20. The Noles dropped to 1-3. And again, they're not going to contend for anything this year, but still a very talented team that's going to be difficult for anyone to face down the road. And if Blackman continues to develop, they may be able to scare Clemson. As you say, Alonzo, it's top 5 recruited talent. It's almost like the situation at LSU where I just can't understand with top 5 to 10 talent. I would think that the two of us could stand on the sideline. Those boys could win more than they do, especially against the likes of Troy. But that's another story.
I can guarantee you that. If I was the head coach and you was the offensive coordinator, I would tell you, just get a quarterback and throw the ball with LSU. Give me some running. Get a quarterback, throw the ball, and run the ball, and we will win 90% of our games. The only game I would be worried about if I was LSU is Alabama every year. There's no reason why they have the trouble that they have. It's amazing.
It is a mystery. All right, for Miami, again, it's Georgia Tech. That's a difficult game in the Coastal Division, but still, the Canes have the best talent in the division. This may be the year that they finally break through and make it all work against, again, a decent division. That Virginia Tech game obviously is key to division championship, and Georgia Tech in particular, and then Notre Dame, of course, down the road if the Canes stay undefeated or with 1 loss and trying to get to a college football playoff. But bigger fish to fry as we go forward.
I think that this win, like I said, the only game I'm really worried about is Notre Dame. This loss every year propelled us down. You know, this loss, we would lose 2, 3, 4 games after this loss. So me, what I'm thinking is that we have the monkey off our back, and now we just have to go out there and play Miami Hurricane football. And like you say, talent level, there's not one team in the coastal that has the talent that we have. So as long as we continue to coach and continue to grow, we can win the coastal. We actually won the coastal a few years back, but we had to forfeit it because of the sanctions. So we didn't get to play an ACC championship game. I think that's the year that either Duke or Georgia Tech took our place in that championship game.
Okay.
So we
that was that
wanted that.
Georgia Tech team, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
we won it. We had won the coastal that year, but we couldn't play because we could have played. We actually could have played, but Al Golden decided not to play because the sanctions were coming up at the end of that year, the next year. So he was like, let's take this hit for the team and not play it. So we actually did get there. We just didn't play it. Forfeited it.
I don't know if the U family wants you to bring up that name, especially on a big celebration night like tonight, but I won't get you started on that.
I mean, it had to be mentioned, you know. I'm still hurt about us not playing that game, you know. But hey, he did us a favor when he got beat by Clemson, you know. So you know, he's down in Detroit now, and let him enjoy his NFL years.
All right, Alonzo1219. You got to check out his YouTube channel for Miami football coverage. It's fun. It's insightful. He's got some great stuff right there. Alonzo, I'm glad I tracked you down for some instant analysis. I enjoyed it. You enjoy your night. You can watch more football and just kick back and stress-free and just enjoy.
Man, Mark, I appreciate it. I've been subscribed to your page for a while now, man, and you give a lot of insight on a lot of college teams. I'm going to make sure I share you to a lot of guys. I get college football fans that watch my channel, even though they're not Hurricane fans. So I appreciate it. It was an honor, serious. It was an honor of me being able to get on your show, man. I worked that would be on Mark Rogers' show. So it was definitely an honor and a blessing. I definitely appreciate you giving me a platform to speak about my Hurricanes.
I definitely feel the same way, top to bottom, Alonzo. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
You too, Mr. Rogers. I'll talk to you later, brother.